Hi, this is Kanaya, and today is January 13th. So now I'm going to continue to do the yellow. So let's talk about why is it important to be considerate. It's important to be considerate because it makes the person concerned. It makes the person feel loved and respected. So other reasons can be it fosters positive relationship, improve social harmony, enhance personal well-being, and contributes to a more supportive environment by demonstrating empathy and respect towards others, ultimately leading to a more pleasant and productive experience for everyone involved. Key reasons why consideration matters. Stronger relationships. When you feel when you are considerate of others' feelings and needs, you build trust and strength for your connections with them, leading to better personal and professional relationships. Positive social impact. A considerate attitude contributes to a more harmonious society by promoting understandings and cooperations among diverse individuals. For example, yesterday we talked about having some considerations for the customers because you don't know what the customer's been going through. So that's why we need to have consideration of others so they won't feel left out. Improve mental health. Active consideration can trigger the release of feel good chemicals like the like dopamine, like dopamine, um, let's see, dopamine, oxytocin. So feeling feel good chemicals like dopamine or oxytocin and boosting your mood and overall well-being, enhance empathy. Practicing consideration encourage you to actively listen and try to understand others' perspective, cultivating empathy and emotional intelligence. So, so when others are talking or they have an issue or if they have something that they want to say, we just need to listen to their perspective and be more understanding to what's going on because because they can be struggling with problems, or they can be having a bad day or a good day. So it's always good to hear or hear and understand what is it what is about. So it says professional success, professional professional success. Being considerate in the workplace creates a positive work environment, improving team collaboration and employees' morals. So yesterday I was talking about how do you handle customers appropriately, or how you should be talking to customers. So when you're working so when you working at a job and you're working for people and you have, let's say you have a few other customers that's coming to you and asking you for help. So would you help them, or would you sit there? You will help them, because each customer has his own wants and needs, and that's what we want to watch out for, is the customers and the employees that you work with, or and the people that you work with, because you don't know if they need help or not. So we just gotta watch out for the people around you, or that so 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 being considerate in the workplace creates a positive work environment, improving team collaboration and employees' morals, like being a team player, communicating with them, and also encouraging each other. Or you can give a compliment, even if they help you with a job, or get the job done faster. So that's what they mean by team collaboration and employees morals. So that's what they mean by being considerate in the workplace. So it says personal growth. By concisely thinking about the impact of your actions on others, you develop self awareness and personal growth. So, it says consideration challenges individuals to expand their perspective and develop greater emotional intelligence. So you may think about your friends or family around you. So they might like certain things, and they might not like they might like certain stuff, and they might not like certain stuff. So when you be considerate, you have to think about other people that's around you. So you never know what their likes and dislikes are. So depending on what's going on in their head, or depending on what's going on in their mind, that they don't agree with. So now when you're considerate of others, then you think about other people. You think about others, and what their likes and dislikes are, that shows that you care about others. You care about the people around you. So, for a thing is, and so the thing is, if you're considerate of others, others will consider you. So now we discuss what considerate is. So 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 before we move on to the next word, so now we're gonna say considerate of considerate for others is the best is the act of being thoughtful and kind towards others, or taking their feelings and needs into account. It can also mean treating others in the way you would like to be treated, which is known as the golden rule, which we're going to talk about next. Consideration is important in relationship because it can build trust and empathy, and it creates positive feelings. Some synonyms for consideration included thoughtfulness, concern, respect, and kindness. Here are some examples of being considerate, like showing up on time, taking other people's worries into account. Be careful not to cause others to be inconvenient or hurt. So, so we always want to be considerate of others, even if they're going through something. So now we're gonna look up what the golden rule is before we move on to inconsiderate, because inconsiderate, it means the opposite. So let's see. So a golden rule is a basic principle that should always be followed to ensure success in general or in a particular activity. Well, so it says a basic principle that should always be followed to ensure success in general or in a particular activity. So, so the golden rule, so the golden rule says so the golden rule should be like you should treat others as you want to be treated, or it's just kind of like the golden rule that we should follow as people. Cause so yes, if people is nice to us, we be nice back. So that's kind of like the golden rule. Golden rule. So it says, what does the golden rule refer to? So it says the golden rule, like it's like in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. The golden rule is a summary of Christian duties to his neighborhoods and states a fundamental ethnic principle. So it says in the Gospel of Matthew. So it says capitalize a gold. So it says, what is the golden rule word capitalized, a coding of ethical conduct, referring to Matthew 7:12 and Luke 6:31. Do to others as you would have them do to you, which is also kinda treating others how you want to be treated. Is also how how it's like do to them how others. Let's see what this is. It's like do to others as you would have them do to you. So that's so now it says the golden rule is a principle in ethics that will guide people to treat others as they would be treated. Well, it's a principle that people to treat others as they would want to be treated. It's often described as do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The golden rule is a rule of thumb that could help people simply complex situations and guide their behavior towards the welfare of others. However, it could be overly simplistic and lead to unintended consequences if not used mindfully. Like, here are some tips to consider about the golden rule. It's not absolute. The golden rule can have problems, such as when interacting with people with different cultures. For example, you might not want to serve or authorize orthodox. So you might not want to serve an authorized Jew shrimp even though you think it's divine. It's important to be compassionate. When something goes wrong, it's common to feel isolated and have a sense that things aren't going the way they're supposed to. Being compassionate towards yourself can help you feel connected to others in your suffering. It's important to be aware of your own issues. If you're self-doubting, you might be unlikely to connect with others. Instead, you might identify with what you're imagined to be their sense of happiness, rejections, or unworthiness. It's important to be a sense of responsibilities. You're not responsible for other people's behavior. For example, if your friend Bill needs a pickup truck, it's within his own power to find one. So, what that tell you is you can't control other people. You can control yourself. So you can make the choices for yourself and always be there for other people. But the thing is, you can't control people and tell them what to do and how to do it, and so they can do anything in their own power to do what they want to do. Like, you can do anything in your own power to do what you want. So we just need to allow others to do what they want, so at least they won't be controlled by other people. Because if you control other people, then it stops them from doing what they want to do because of the fact that you told them what to do and how they should do it. So that's really important to consider other people. Consider other people. So now we talked about the golden rule so far. It's also a good thing because you have to consider others of what they want and how they should be treated. So that's the same difference for this. So now this is the same difference. So now we're going to look up inconsiderate. So just in case if people people don't so just in case if people don't follow directions, and just in case if people don't follow the golden rule. So now we're going to look up inconsiderate. So let's say you use up too much, or let's say if the person is inconsiderate, they don't have any consideration for your feelings, or they don't have considerate of what you like or your dislikes are, or what if they don't follow the golden rule. So if they don't follow the golden rule, then people would feel isolated. So that's why we also have to be on the good side, so that things won't impact other people, because we don't know what they struggling with, or what they or what their problems are. So it says, when you are considerate of others, you are essentially acting without regards for the feelings or needs of others, which can lead to strained relationships. So it says, when you are considerate, you are essentially acting without regards for the feelings or need of others, which can lead to strained relationships, hurt feelings, diminished reputation, and a negative social perception. Essentially, people might find you rude, disrespectful, and unpleasant to be around. So that means you didn't care or have respect for others because of the fact that you were so inconsiderate of other people, making them mad, or didn't have no respect or regards for other people's feelings. But then you also gotta think about is what it affects other people. So we just gotta rethink on this kind of behavior. Hold on, I'll be back. So now we understand the part of being inconsiderate. So now we're going to talk about what being inconsiderate affects other people. So it says, key points about being inconsiderate. Negative impact or relationship. It could damage friendship, family bonds, and even professional connections by making others feel disregarded and disrespected. Social disapproval. Others may judge you poorly and avoid interacting with you if you constantly behave in an inconsiderate manner. Conflict creations. Incorporate inconsiderate actions often lead to arguments and conflicts as people you may feel the need to call out your behavior. Selfish perception. Being inconsiderate can be seen as a sign of selfishness. When you prioritize your own needs and desire above others. Examples of inconsiderate behavior: talking loudly in public spaces, interrupting others while they are speaking, making insensitive jokes, not respecting personal boundaries, showing up late to meetings without an apology, not considering others' needs when making decisions. What can you do instead? Practice empathy. Try to understand and consider others, or consider how your actions might affect others. Active, active listening. Pay attention to what others are saying and respond accordingly. Be mindful of social cues. Observe nonverbal communication to gauge how others are feeling. Apologize when necessary, acknowledging your mistakes, and take responsibility for your actions. So, this kind of behavior will not allow people to feel, will allow people to feel, no. So that should tell you that this kind of behavior, I don't know. So yeah, so this kind of behavior will not allow will for people to feel happy or 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 respected, because this shows, so what this was saying is you're not really caring or having respect for others, because you're showing disregards and you show that you don't have no type of attention to them based on their feelings, or so these are the this is say on the bottom, saying that how you can improve and how you can be more considerate. So unless if you have someone in your family or someone in your family that's inconsiderate, and tell them that they need to improve because they don't know, or they know what they did wrong, but you have no idea of what the person is doing. So they be in so they do stuff to be inconsiderate, and now even your behavior is their behavior. So instead of you yelling or lashing out, I'm gonna give you tips and tricks, or what can you say to that person if they're being inconsiderate. They don't have no care, no show to have no care or respect for your feelings. Cause, or you could, so, or you could say it nicely the first time, or if they still keep doing the same thing, then you might raise their voice a little. You can raise your voice a little bit to make them understand that this behavior can't happen or this behavior can't continue. So it's kind of like being selfish. Like, you're not considering other people's feelings. So if if someone is being inconsiderate, you can say things like, it feels like you're not considering my feelings here. Can you please be more mindful of others? That action was a bit disrespectful. I feel disrespected when you don't have considerate for my feelings, or you can say like, I feel disrespected when you're thinking about yourself and not thinking about me. Or you can say you thinking, or you can say you have to have respect for other people, because that's what people like and their dislikes are, and their feelings too. So it says, follow by specific example, or have you thought about how this might affect others? Always aiming to calmly express your feelings and clearly state the behavior that bothers you. Using I statements to avoid sounding accusatory. So this is the first time that you're talking to that person about being inconsiderate. But you don't always have to be nice all the time, and you don't have to keep being nice neither. So I'm gonna give you the tips in the calmly way and the aggression way to say it. Cause this, so to let them know, this kind of behavior is not acceptable. They should be more considerate and more respect for their feelings. So it says, key points to remember. Use I statements. Like, I feel frustrated when instead of you are being inconsiderate. Yes, you can say that. But yes, you can say, I feel frustrated when you don't have respect for others, or you're not taking others seriously. Instead of you are being inconsiderate, you can say that. So you can say, I feel frustrated because you being inconsiderate of others. Be specific. Clearly state the behavior that bothers you when you interrupt me while I'm speaking. Focus on the impact. Explain how their behavior makes you feel. This makes me feel like my opinion doesn't matter. Maintain a calm tone. Avoid getting angry or accusatory. Try to have a constructive conversation. Depending on the situation, you might also say, could you please be more respectful? Well, could you please be more respectful of my time? Do you mind if we discuss this another time when you can give me your full attention? I need to take a moment to process this. Can we talk later? It seems like you're not paying attention. Is there something wrong? So this is the calm way to say it. So it says, what can you say in a aggression in a in an aggression way, it's when people yell, it's when people yell or lash out. You can flip on them too. So yes. So if this behavior continues, you can put bass in your voice. So it says if you want to respond aggressively to someone being inconsiderate, you can say things like, "Do you even care about how this affects me? You're you're being incredibly selfish. This is completely disrespectful. You always have to put yourself first, don't you? Are you deliberately trying to ignore me? Or can't you see how your actions are impacting others?" So remember that expressing aggression is generally not the best way to resolve conflict, and you can further escalate the situation and it can further escalate the situation. Consider calmly communicate your feelings and needs instead. Like, we can ignore that. If if they continue to be inconsiderate, then you can blow up on them. Blow up. So it says important points to consider. Direct confrontations. Aggressive response often involve direct execution and blaming, which can quickly escalate a situation. Personal attacks. Avoid attacking someone's character or using insults, as this can be highly damaging to a relationship. Instead of you statements, use an I. Instead of focus on I statements, which express your feelings, aggressive response tend to use you statements that definitely blame the other person, which which it can lead to aggressive tone or aggressive feeling. So so either way, this is not the behavior. This is not the behavior that that they would expect to get to them. So so and then it says, so aggression way to say it is, you always inconsiderate means that someone is not repeatedly not thinking about or caring with the feeling of others, essentially accusing them of being selfish or rude by not taking others' perspective into account with their actions or words. It implies, let's say, it implies a pattern of behavior where they disregarded the needs and well-being of others. Key points about inconsiderate. Negative connotation. It always used to criticize someone for their behavior. Lack of thoughtfulness. As a considerate person don't think about how their actions might affect others, like sitting them like selfish, thoughtless, disrespectful. Use it examples. You always inconsiderate when you leave your dishes in the sink without washing them. It's frustrating that you're always inconsiderate of my schedule by showing up late to meetings. Like is there a nice way to talk to someone? No, I don't think so. It's not like Like, these are examples of aggression way. And I was like, that's not a nice way to talk to someone. So you could simply ask, would you mind washing the dishes that's in the sink? So referring to the referring to the first sentence, you always inconsiderate when you leave your dishes in the sink without washing them. So that means you're using aggression, not a calm tone. You might ask, would you mind washing dishes in the sink? And so instead, you ask them, what? Or you might say, let's go wash the, or you can tell them to go wash the dishes. But you can't say the person's inconsiderate when you leave dishes in the sink without washing them. Like, that's not a nice way to say it. So the second sentence says, it's frustrating that you always inconsiderate. So it's frustrating that you always inconsiderate of my schedule to show up late to meetings. So you know what you can say instead? So it says, or you can say, we can, we could, you can ask them why they're always late to meetings, or we could say, you can come in a little early, or come in a little earlier so you won't have to be late. So it says, so yes, or you can give them a warning if they, so let's say, what can you say if they always show up late for meetings? So we don't want to yell or lash out. So it says, if someone is constantly late to meetings, you could always say things like, or you could say something like, we've noticed you've been arriving late to several meetings recently, and it's important to be on time to ensure we can start discussions properly and not disrupt the flow for everyone else. So it's kind of like having consideration for others. So it's good. So can we discuss ways to improve your punctuality moving forward? So mhm. So it says, key points to remember: address privately. It's best to raise this concern one on one with the individual in a respectful manner. Because remember, they don't want to hear any excuses. So it's important to talk about the behavior, not the person. Focus on impact. Express how their tardiness affects the team and the meeting dynamics. So the person always comes in late. Have no consideration for the time. Have no consideration for other people's and for other people in general. Other people's tardiness, which is, so it says, be solution or orientated. Offer to discuss potential solutions or adjustments to their schedule that could help them arrival time. Other phrases to consider. So you can say things like, your frequently late arrivals have been impacting our meetings productively. Can we talk about how to improve this to ensure and to ensure everyone can fully participate? It's important to start meeting on time, so please make an effort to be punctual. Do you have any specific reasons why you've been late to recent meetings? And how can we work together to address it? So you can say other things as well instead of you saying you always be inconsiderate when you arrive meetings late. That's not how you say it. Let's go back for a second. It says you always inconsiderate. It's frustrating that you're always inconsiderate of my schedule by showing up late to meetings. You can ask them the reason why they been late to recent meetings, but that second part was unprofessional. I don't even think to I don't even know what they think to say that, cuz that's not that's not the way that we addressed it. So it says important consideration. Understand the reason. Sometimes they may be legitimate reasons for someone's tardiness. Should try to understand the situation before making assumptions. Be clear and direct with while being polite. Clearly communicate the expectation for punctuality. Follow up. If the issue persists after initial conversation, consider revisiting the topic and discussing further steps. So so it's good to talk to them professionally so they won't feel isolated or they won't feel like they being accused of wrongdoing because so that way so so now I made this blanket so far, so we're gonna stick with this tomorrow. So now I wanna share the first sentence and how can we improve that sentence to a nicer way. So now we talked about a professional way to talk if someone always late, well, if someone always shows up late to meetings. So it says, it's okay to speak up. Don't blame the other person for being late. Know the difference between reacting and responding, which we're going to talk about tomorrow. Just to be clear, let the other person know that you can't wait any longer and let them know they've disrespected your time. So you can use the tips and tricks that I gave you to acknowledge to acknowledge the person that it's not okay to come in late all the time or come in late every day. So you can't accuse a person for being late because they have so many reasons why they might be late to meetings. So the first sentence says, you always inconsiderate when you leave your dishes in the sink without washing them, which tells the person is lazy. They didn't get up. The person didn't get up, didn't do the dishes. So now the dishes is in the sink. So now I don't even know why the dishes in the sink. So maybe people was having their lunch or people was eating food or having something to drink. So that's why the dish is in the sink. So now we can figure out what is a way that to say if they always leave dishes in the sink, because which is a lot of people do. They nasty, they lazy, doesn't want to get up and wash the dishes. It's just, I don't know. So at this point, so it says, what can you say if someone always leave dishes? Because I would just tell them to wash the dishes. So if someone frequently leave dishes in the sink, let's see. So if someone frequently leave dishes in the sink, you could say something like, "Hey, could you please wash your dishes after you're done eating? It will really help keep the kitchen clean." So you can also try in a more direct approach like, "I've noticed your dishes are still in the sink. Would you mind cleaning them up soon?" Key points to remember when addressing this issue. Be polite and respectful. Focus on the behavior, not the person. Choose the right time. Bring up calmly when you both relax, not in the middle of a stressful situation. Clearly state your request. Explain how leaving dishes in the sink affects you and what you would like to and what you would like to do them differently. Consider a shared responsibility system. If you live with others, if you live with others, discuss establishing a chore chart or rotating dishwashing duties. Because because the person just came home from work and they noticed dishes in the sink. So so it says alternative phrases you can use. It would be great if we could all make an effort to clean up after ourselves in the kitchen. Do you mind rinsing off your dishes before putting them in the sink? Could we try to wash our dishes as soon as we're done eating? I'm happy to share the cleaning responsibilities, but it would be helpful if everyone did their part. Or so or you could say, "I'm not responsible for washing everyone's dishes." Well, which you might be. Or you could say, "I'm about to wash the dishes real quick," because I know people who's lazy, who doesn't get up and do their chores. So let's say, so let's see. So let's say the mom came home from work and she noticed the dishes were in the sink, and she tells you, "You always inconsiderate when you leave your dishes in the sink without washing them." So that's letting the person know that they're lazy. They don't even wash. They're lazy. They don't want to get up and wash the dishes. So so you might ask them, "Is there any reason why his dishes in the sink?" Which you shouldn't have to ask them why, because they know to get up and wash the dishes. Or you could say, "So so I was like thinking about the like so you're gonna tell me that you couldn't wash the dishes?" Or, "Cause this is what's gonna happen if," cause the dishes, when you leave dishes in the sink for that long, it's gonna have chemicals. Cause cause or you could ask them, would you mind washing the dishes, please? That would mean they say yes, or they might say no. You can say, or you can thank them for washing dishes, or I would just wash the dishes, and not even care, cause at this point, the dishes will be done. Cause but it's important to have considerate for others. So, so if you leave dishes in the sink, or says, what happens when you leave dishes in the sink? If you leave dishes in the sink, bacteria will rapidly multiply on them, potentially spreading germs throughout your kitchen as the food residue dries and attracts pests. This can lead to food burn illness if not washed properly before reuse. And the longer you leave them, the harder it becomes to clean them effectively. So you can teach them what happens when you leave the dishes in the sink and how it affects them. So without yelling or lashing out at them, because it's it's gonna leave back. So if you leave your dishes in the sink, it's gonna leave bacteria. So it says key points about leaving dishes in the sink. Bacteria growth. A warm, moist sink environment is perfect for bacteria to effectively grow on dirty dishes, especially if they have food remnants left on them. Cross contamination. Bacteria from one dish can transfer to other surface in the sink, potentially containing the other food items you wash later. Pests attract. Leftover food on dirty dishes can attract insects like ants and cockroaches. Like, no one likes roaches. That's nasty. So, cleaning the difficulties. The longer dishes sink, the harder it is to remove dry or food particles, requiring more scrubbing and water usage. So, what to do instead? Wash dishes promptly. Clean your dishes as soon as possible after eating to minimize bacteria growth. Scrape food scrapes. Scrape food scraps. Remove large food particles from your dish before putting them in the sink. Soak help heavily soil items. For dishes with stubborn grime, soak them in the soapy water to loosen food particles before washing. Properly sanitize. Use hot water and dish soap to thoroughly clean your dishes, including the sink itself. So now I teach you a lesson about washing dishes. So now, so so now we so now we teach them how to wash dishes and how it affect the dishes. Cause you can't leave your dishes for days. You can't leave your dishes for days and don't even wash them. Cause it's gonna be hard to clean after you leave your dishes in there for that long. It's gonna be hard to clean, and it's like, what is this? What was the point of leaving dishes in the sink if you can go up and wash them? If you can get up and wash them. But this is not what we do. This is not what we do in the house. So we get up and we wash them promptly. Like after you eat dinner or after you eat lunch. So after you eat, you wash the dishes. We don't leave dishes in the sink to get the bacteria on them and the roaches and the cockroaches to get on them. So that's why it's important to wash dishes permanently, because it can be clean and shiny. So it says, why is is it important important to wash dishes? So so it's important to wash dishes because it can prevent bacteria and prevent the roaches from getting on them. So it says washing dishes is important because it removes leftover food and bacteria from the surface, preventing the growth and harmful microorganisms that could cause illness, attracting pests, and ensuring your dishes are clean and safe to use for your next meal. Essentially, is a key hygiene practice in the kitchen to maintain food safety. Key points about washing dishes. Hygiene. Dirty dishes can harbor bacteria that can make you sick if you eat off of them. Well, hygiene. Dirty dishes can harbor bacteria that can make you sick if you eat off of them. Pest control. Leftover food on dishes attracts pests like rodents and insects. Food safety. Washing dishes with hot water and soap removes food particles and bacteria, or you can wash it with warm water. But you can't wash the dishes in cold water because it's not going to get rid of the bacteria. So you can either use hot water or warm water to wash the dishes. So, aesthetic appeal. Clean dishes are more pleasant to use and contribute to a tidy kitchen. So the the main reason why you should wash your dishes is this prevent bacteria, fungus, and other potential harmful elements from growing on the dishes. Washing dishes also prevents insects, rodents, and other pests that are attracted by the food and leftover waste from infesting your home. Like, cause some people would leave dishes for days and don't even clean them. So that's why it's important to clean your dishes so that you won't get sick and have bacteria on it. So instead of the mom is coming home every day, getting mad, getting angry because there's always dishes in the sink. So instead of you getting mad and angry, so what you can do is you can ask them, you can talk to them, or you can teach them what is the cost of washing dishes and how it can affect the dishes. Or you can say what so or you just so the different ways you can teach them how to wash dishes is they can watch you, or you can show them how to wash the dishes so that the next time they'll know how to wash dishes because you're not their maid having to wash dishes for them. So now what you can say aggressive. So it says, what can you say with, or what can you teach them? Like I was saying, like wash the dishes and how. So let's start off with aggression first before we actually teach them. So we can get the understanding of the importance of what they need to do to improve themselves. So it doesn't matter what they're doing. What's so important that that they what's so important that they are doing that they can't wash dishes. So it's it's no it's no telling what they can be doing. So if you want to be aggressive, confrontational about someone constantly leaving dishes in the sink, you can say things like, "Are you trying to turn our kitchen into a garbage dump with all these dirty dishes? Do you even know how to use a dishwasher? This is getting ridiculous. You need to start washing your own dishes, or it's beyond disrespectful to leave your mess for everyone else to clean up." Remember to approach these conversations with caution, as being overly aggressive can escalate conflict and isn't always the best way to resolve issues. Or you could say, "So you tell me that you couldn't wash the dishes? Like, come on now, like, this isn't a hotel where you just sit down and I have to wash all your dishes for you." Well, this is not a way you can say it. Important words to consider. Direct confrontation. While direct, these phrases can easily lead to arguments and tension. Focus on the behavior, not the person. Try to phrase your complaint around the specific action of leaving dishes in the sink, rather than making personal attacks. Consider the context. Depending on your relationship with the person, a more assertive approach might be suited. So, if you be more aggressive towards them about leaving dishes in the sink, they don't get up and wash them. So you went from nice to mean, like to basing your voice. So after you tell them not to leave their dishes in the sink, and they still continue to leave their dishes in the sink, and then you leave more aggression towards them, they're not going to learn anything. So the best thing to do is to teach them how to wash the dishes. So the next time they'll get up and wash the dishes. So you can say, "I'm sorry that I came off rude to you guys," or "I'm sorry that I came off rude, but I don't like when people leave dishes in the sink without washing them." So you say an apology after you yell and your aggression. So after you say, "I'm sorry I came off rude, but I don't like when people leaving dishes in the sink without washing them, so I figure out a way that I can teach you. So now I'm going to teach you the importance of washing dishes." So if someone constantly leaves dishes in the sink, you can teach them about the importance of cleaning up after themselves, the potential for bacteria growth on dirty dishes, the impact on shared living space, or how to develop a habit of washing dishes promptly after meals, including strategies like scraping food scraps, rinsing immediately, and loading the dishwasher effectively. You can also encourage open communication to address the issue directly and collaboratory or collaborative set cleaning routines. Key points to emphasize: hygiene and health concerns. Explain that leaving dishes in the sink can lead towards bacteria growth, which can potentially make people sick. Because people can get sick from dirty dishes. So you never know what they had for lunch or what they had for breakfast or dinner, or it could be for a snack. So teach them the importance of washing dishes. So that's what dishes do. So respect for shared space. Highlight that leaving dirty dishes in the sink impacts everyone in the living space. Create a messy and unpleasant environment. Like, so if you leave dishes in the sink, it can lead to bacteria. So it says habit building. Encourage the person to develop a routine of washing dishes right after finishing a meal, making it a natural part of their eating process. So it says efficient cleaning techniques. Teach them how to properly scrape food scrap, rinse dishes promptly, and effectively load the dishwasher. It says open communication. Have a calm and respectful conversation about the issue, expressing your concerns and working together to find a solution that works best for both of you. So you're not yelling at them anymore. You're happy now. Now the person feels better after you teach them how to wash dishes, so the person is not upset no more. So now is an importance that is important for you to wash dishes after you eat a meal. So now you know what to do for next time. So it says potential approaches. Directly ask them to clean up. Hey, could you please wash your dishes after you eat? Let set clear expectation. Let's agree to clean up our dishes right after each meal. Offer reminders. Gently remind them to wash their dishes if you notice them leaving them in the sink. Create a chore chart. If living with multiple people, create a rotating dishwashing schedule to share their responsibility. So each person can take turns putting a dish in a dishwasher. Like, it's the same routine, like taking turns washing the dishes, but make sure they clean though so they won't get dirty. Positive reinforcement. Acknowledge and praise them when they make an effort to clean up their dishes properly. So we don't want the dishes to be still dirty after you clean them, because if you clean them and your dishes are still dirty, so that means that your dishes are not clean. They're still dirty. So if you properly wash dishes and scrape off the scraps that was on the dishes, so you have to wash dishes more than once to make sure that they're clean. So if you wash them just once and you and the thing is, the part of washing dishes is you feel the surface to make sure it's not dirty or greasy or has food on stuck with it or anything to it. So that's the part of the reason. So in the middle of it, that's also a reminder of washing dishes. You have to touch the surface. So as you're washing dishes, so first you go in the sink, add the dishwater to the sponge, add soap and water to the sponge, turn the water on, rinse off the dishes, and you wash them. So after the first time you touch the surface, make sure it's clean so they're not dirty or greasy and everything. So if it's still dirty or greasy, you wash it again to make sure that they're clean. So if you wash the surface once, then it'll still be dirty. So let's talk about what is the cost of that. Because some people wash dishes and don't even realize that they're still dirty. So let's talk about what is what can be the cost of that happening? So, happens when you wash dishes and it still dirty or greasy. So, like again, it's gonna cause a bacteria, and people can get really sick from dirty dishes. So, if you wash dishes and they remain dirty or greasy, it usually means you didn't use hot water enough, or well, so if you wash dishes and they remain dirty or greasy, it usually means you didn't use hot enough water, didn't apply enough soap, didn't scrub accurately, and possibly have hot water, which can prevent grease from fully dissolving, leaving a residue on the dishes. Essentially, the cleaning process wasn't through enough to remove all the food particles and grease. So that means you use cold water to wash the dishes, which the dishes were still dirty. Even if you use warm water, it still might not be able. So that means you didn't use that much soap and water to wash the dishes. So now the dishes were still dirty. Didn't even realize it. You didn't touch the surface of the dishes. You didn't touch the back of it. So you have to wash all surface of the dishes. So it says key reasons why dishes might be still dirty after washing. Not enough hot water. Grease doesn't dissolve well in lukewarm water, so using hot water is critical for effective cleaning. Or you can try to scrub or wipe, or try to scrub it. If that didn't work, you can use hot water to get rid of the greasiness. So it says poor scrubbing techniques. Not scrubbing dishes thoroughly, especially greasy areas, can leave residue. So like I was saying, after insufficient soap, like you're not scrubbing hard enough. You're not scrubbing to get the greasy dishes off of them. So it says hard water. Minerals in hard water can interfere with soap's ability to break down grease. Overcrowding dishes. If you try to wash too many dishes at once, they might not get properly cleaned. Dirty sponge or dishwater. A dirty sponge can spread grease instead of removing it. What to do if dishes are still greasy? Use hotter water. Ensure the water is as hot as your hands can comfortably tolerate. Add more soap. Apply a generous amount of dish soap in your sponge or dishcloth. Scrub more vulgarly. Pay extra attention to greasy areas with a good scrubbing mention. Rinse thoroughly. Make sure to rinse all the soap off the dishes with clean hot water. Change the water frequently. If washing a lot of dishes, change the soapy water in the sink often. Consider a water softener. If you have a hard water, using a water softener can improve cleaning effectiveness. So if you're using a good detergent but still find the dish water leaving food residue after washing, there may be a problem with your dishwasher. Check the spray arms to be sure that they are not clogged or obstructed. You may also want to check the dishwasher's water pressure and clean the filter. So it's like what to do if your dishwater is messed up. So up here is the rule. So it says what to do if the dishes are still greasy. Like you use hot water, add a little bit more soap to it, not too much. Or you can scrub more vigorously, like rinse thoroughly, change the water frequently, and consider a water softener. So after you've done all the, once you've done all the dishwashing and stuff, you check them, make sure they're not greasy or clean. So it's important to check the dishes first before we put in the dish rack. Because if you just wash them, put in the dish rack, wash another dish, put in the dishwash, put in the dish rack, so that means the dishes will still be dirty because you didn't wash them or you didn't scrub them you didn't scrub them hard enough. So that's why the dishes might be still greasy after you wash them. So you can't wash the dishes just one time. You have to wash it a couple of times to make sure they're clean. So now we talked about what the effects of dirty and greasy dishes. So now it says, so now if you wash dishes again, so now after you know the importance of dirty greasy dishes, so if you wash dishes again, meaning you rewash them after initial wash, it simply means you are cleaning them a second time with soap and water, usually because you weren't satisfied with how clean they were initially are, potentially due to stubborn food residue or not rinsing thoroughly enough. Essentially, you are trying to remove any remaining dirt or bacteria by repeating the washing process. So key points about rewashing dishes. Hygiene benefits. Washing dishes again can help ensure proper hygiene by removing any lingering food particles that could potentially harbor bacteria. Check for cleanliness. Always inspect dishes after the first wash to see if they needed to be rewashed. Potential for waste. While necessary sometimes, rewashing dishes can use extra soap and water. So try to extra water and soap. So try to wash thoroughly the first time. So if the first time didn't help, then you can wash it the second time and the third time. So it's important to wash them a couple of times to make sure they're clean so they're not greasy or dirty. So we just try to make sure that, so that means, so you got up, you wash dishes, and so that's how you should be teaching them what the importance of washing dishes is. So some people be couch potatoes and don't even wash dishes, and that could be frustrating too. But that means you guys can teach them how to wash dishes. So the first time it's just be dishes. So first time you come in, you leave in the dishes be left in the sink the first time. Okay, it's not a big deal. I'll wash them. But if they leave in the dishes sink frequently, and you tell them to go up and do the dishes, then you can always ask. Then you can ask, why is it always dishes in the sink? Like, you can ask them a question of why Is it always dishes in the sink? Or you can say, why do I come home and it's always dishes in the sink? Because they shouldn't have to ask why when they can get up and wash dishes. So that's the main difference. So once you teach them how to do dishes, so now when they get up, and they wash the dishes after they eat. So they change after a while. So that's because of the fact of that they sit down, leave them in the sink for them to do it. So after you teach them and they still leave dishes in the sink after you did your teaching method of washing dishes. So it says when someone repeatedly leaves dishes in the sink after being taught to wash them, it could lead to frustration, a feeling of being disregarded, and potentially a build-up resentment. And the person who is cleaning up after them, it can also indicate of lack of respect for shared household responsibilities and could contribute to a negative dynamic with the living space. Key points to consider. Hygiene concerns. Leaving dishes in the sink could lead to bacteria growth on the dishes, which I was saying in the first beginning. After when people leave dishes in the sink, it can lead to that bacteria potentially containing the kitchen and posing a health risk. Increased workload. It can create extra work for the person who has to clean up the dishes later, adding unnecessary stress. Communication breakdown. If the issue isn't addressed openly, it can lead to passive aggressive behavior and hinder effective communication. So what to do? So if you just told them to wash the dishes, well, what to do is calmly address the issue. So if you just told them to wash the dishes and you teach them how to wash the dishes and you don't have to calmly address the issue because you did all your you spoke to them, you did all your teaching method of washing dishes. So I'm gonna explain now I'm gonna explain calmly address the issue to positive reinforcement. So now you could do is talk to the person directly, reminding them of the importance of washing dishes promptly, explaining them how their actions are impacting you. Set clear expectation. Establish a system for dishwashing, such as who is responsible for washing dishes after each meal and when they should be cleaned. Offer support if they are struggling with the task. Consider offering assistance or breaking down the steps into smaller manageable tasks. Possible reinforcements. Acknowledge and appreciate when they do wash their dishes, reinforcing positive behavior. So you can thank them after they wash the dishes and stuff. So 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 when you told them wash the dishes, and so I'm going to tell you what you can aggressively say when they continuously leaving dishes in the sink. Again, after you did your teacher method and you told them the importance and you taught them the importance of washing dishes and how it can affect the dishes. So now what you can say aggressively. So if you want to say something aggressively about someone leaving the dishes the second time after being reminded, you can try phrases like, seriously, you couldn't be bothered to wash your dishes again. I thought I already explained this. How hard it is to just clean up after yourself. This is getting ridiculous. Do you think this is a restaurant where someone else cleans up your mess? Or I'm not your personal dishwasher. Push dishes in your sink. Important points to consider. Direct confrontation. While expressing frustration is understandable, aggressively confronting someone can escalate the situation and damage a relationship. And they're like, I don't even, that, like, you can say, and they like, it doesn't even matter anymore. You wasted your time teaching them how to wash dishes. They still continuously washing dishes. Don't even care to wash the dishes. So do you even waste your time even telling them? No, because they continuously leaving dishes in the sink. So I'm not even going to speak nicely anymore. So when they do finally get up and wash the dishes, when they wash dishes in the sink and wash them in the sink after you teach them. So when someone is washing dishes well after you've taught them, you can say things like, great job, you're getting the hang of it. Looks like you've mastered the dishwashing technique. That's a clean plate, nice work. You're doing a fantastic job cleaning those dishes. Or see how easy that was? You're a natural. Always emphasize their effort and positive progress with positive reinforcement. Key points to remember: be specific. Mention what they did well, like, I really like how you scrubbing the food off thoroughly. Stay positive, avoid criticism, and focus on encouraging words. Offer constructive feedback if needed. If there's a small area they miss, gently point it out and show them how to do it better. So you see, the person is finally getting up and washing the dishes, as opposed to them having to yell and waste their energy, because it gets very frustrating. So now you learn the techniques of washing dishes, so now you know how to wash them. So I hope you like, subscribe, and comment down below on my YouTube video. Thanks for watching.